Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Jordan Leasure. I'm the owner and physician of North Shore Proactive Health, a state-of-the-art wellness clinic in the northern Chicago suburbs. It is Thursday evening. We are talking about how stressful it can be to try to be healthy. So I read this really great blog post that honestly was too long and could have been summed up in about half the time. But the gist of it was that we make it more challenging on ourselves to be healthy, and being healthy has to be painful, and being healthy has to be challenging, and being healthy has to be a competition. And I'm going to see if I can find it because it was in one of my chiropractic groups, and repost it for everybody to read if you're interested. Again, it is very, very long. But essentially, the reason that I want to talk about it tonight was because I don't think that way. I don't think that healthy has to be a contest. I don't think that we always have to be competing against one another or ourselves to be healthier. Hi, everybody tuning in. Let me know you're here. Give me a thumbs up if you agree, or if you disagree. Let's have a little discourse about health being too challenging, or better if it's challenging. She used examples like the Peloton, which obviously I could relate because I just got one. And you're always trying to compete against the people on the leaderboard, or you're trying to be on the leaderboard, or you're trying to beat yourself. You're trying to do better than before. Or when you're doing yoga, it has to be like hot yoga and hard, challenging. The examples that she used about the names of yoga studios or the names for workout studios are always like, beat it up, crush it, this or that. And, where I think that she lost me, because I am very competitive. I am an individual that is excited by competition or a contest, and I do want to do better. But at the same time, I don't think that my health falls into that vein. So for me, recommending health to my clients or a healthy lifestyle to my clients is not about them being healthier than anyone else, or them making a better decision than anyone else. It is absolutely about living the life they deserve and gaining control. And that's what health is about for me. So I hope that as you're tuning in, you will share some of what health means to you, and if you can relate to some of this competition that you see in regards to health and wellness. And again, I'm trying to pull it up on my computer so that we can have a little conversation about this as we're going tonight. But I wanted to leave you tonight with 3 things that you can do to incorporate right away managing health, or how you view health. So number 1, and this sort of piggybacks on last night, is what is your health paradigm? And essentially what a paradigm is what does something mean to you? What is your outlook? What if you look inside yourself, and some of this will fall on your parents, unfortunately, but what was health like growing up? And maybe it wasn't health, maybe it was the antithesis to healthy and healthy habits, but what did it look like in your household? So when you were, maybe up until age 10, because that's when we're the most impressionable, what were habits like? And I can tell you that for us, both of my parents worked, and up until probably when Jade was born, so up until I was like 5, we always had, my parents were teachers, so they had, shorter schedules. They were home earlier than, let's say, like the 9 to 5, the 9 to 6, now 9 to 7. But I remember we always had dinner together, and we always had homemade dinner. And, nowadays, that up until, of course, the quarantine, that may be unique to some people. I also remember growing up that we had a refrigerator downstairs in our, we had not a basement, like an English basement, I guess. And that was full of pop. So it was full of pop and beer. So essentially that was like the entertaining fridge. And I don't remember being a kid, drinking pop. I don't remember, I never drank alcohol. It was just not like a thing to me. It didn't have that allure, I think, that it has for a lot of kids, because it was accessible. So to me, I didn't care. So that's what I remember. And I remember my mom laying out Dixie cups of vitamins for herself and for my dad, and, you know, sorting through, you know, the omegas again, of course, even, I'm embarrassed to say 30, 35 years ago, were still giant horse pills. But, you know, she'd lay out the vitamins for herself and my father. And my mom's wellness and journey went through what a lot of us does. And it was definitely, you know, an ebb and flow where she had a personal trainer and would be gone when I woke up in the morning because she'd be out running. I remember her doing, you know, Jane Fonda tapes when I was, you know, really little at 5 o'clock in the morning. So that was kind of my wellness paradigm growing up, and that's what health looked like to us. We really didn't go to the doctor. You know, from what I remember, I had more sinus infections than I would like to recall, but that's, knock on wood, the only interactions that we really had with doctors up until I was about, you know, 16, and we started, you know, seeing a chiropractor regularly, and obviously that's how I ended up in the situation I'm in right now. But that was my wellness paradigm. So if you think back to childhood, that's essentially what's going to lay the foundation for how you view health and wellness, how you view your paradigm and your approach to health right now. And of course, some of that may be changing depending on your age. If your parents are aging, if you're seeing your parents deal with some chronic health issues right now, if you have unfortunately seen your parents pass away from different disease processes, that may take a toll on what you see as your wellness paradigm. But that's your first homework assignment tonight, is to write down and journal that. It doesn't have to be an answer right now, but what does health mean to you? What does health look like to you? And it can be challenging to modify some of that if you don't know where you're starting. So let's start right there. Let's take a look at what health is, what health means to you right now. Number 2 is going to be setting some goals. So if you don't feel like you're as happy, healthy, and energetic as you would like to be, why not? What is missing? What is stressing you out? So stress comes from an incongruence between that paradigm and the life that we are leading. For instance, for me, stress can come if I let it, if I engage in activities that I know are not healthy for me. So that may be for me sitting on the couch instead of going for a walk. It may be eating, because I'm not pro-dairy whatsoever. I do have dairy periodically. So let's say that I eat a cheeseburger and again, I have cheese instead of no cheese, and I know damn well cheese is not a good choice. That incongruence can cause some stress, and whether that stress is blatant and obvious and I look at it and I'm like, ooh, it's cheese, I shouldn't do it, but it tastes good, I'm gonna do it. Or if it's on a subconscious level, because that paradigm is so deeply ingrained in me, it doesn't matter, it will still cause stress. So knowing and being conscious of where your paradigm is super important. So we're going to figure out, number 1, what our paradigm is. And then number 2, we're going to take a look at, you know, if there are things that are causing us some stress right now with those choices. And then we're going to look at what our goals are if we are not, again, as happy, healthy, and energetic as we would like to be. What is off? Is it your eating? Again, that's an easy example. We all have to eat. So is it your eating? Is it your activity, your exercise habits? Is it your self-talk like we discussed last night? Are you being kind to yourself? So take a look. Paradigm is number 1. Number 2 are your goals. So what can be tweaked? What can be improved? And then number 3 is going to be, what are you doing about it? So we've had 90 days now to possibly make some improved lifestyle choices, or on the flip side of that, you've had 90 really stressful days, really rough time at home, a big change in circumstance. What have you done in the past 90 days? How was health at the beginning of this lockdowns, whatever, stay-at-home order, compared to how your health is right now? and let's compare that to where you would like it to be. So you're gonna figure out your paradigm is number one. Number two, set some goals or just acknowledge which areas of your life could be improved. And then number three, we're going to take a look at what have you done about it and what would you like to do about it. I've had and been inundated the last few probably weeks with requests on how to work with me individually, what can somebody do, and I appreciate that. And if I haven't answered your question or your message to full satisfaction, I apologize, because things have been a little bit crazy. As you saw, if you saw my video yesterday, the air conditioning went out at the office, so I had to buy today 2 new air conditioners and a furnace for my office. So it's always something. There's always some stressor that's popping up. But if you don't feel like you have a handle on modifying behaviors, and what do I mean by that? Are you in the same position with the same complaints right now as you were 90 days ago when this quarantine started, or as you were last year at this time? So what did May of 2020 or 2019 look like for you compared to May of 2020? And if you can't say that you're in a better position this year, then let's work on that, because that's why I'm here. I'm hoping that all of this education, all of this information that I've provided over the last 90 days has been beneficial. It's excited you. It's given you an insight into maybe some modifications that you can implement at home. But if you need a little bit more, if you need someone that is keeping you accountable, if you need someone that is helping, please let me know. That's my job, to be a resource. So if you need some guidance, if you are not feeling as happy, healthy, and energetic as you would like to, you can. You have the power within you to make that happen. So please let me know what can be done. This weekend, we're going to have some really cool things going on. Let me know if you have a topic that you'd like to be discussed, something that we haven't talked about. Feel free to send me a private message. If you feel like these videos are beneficial, as always, please share them, with friends, comment. If you disagree, let me know. I would love to have a conversation on these topics. It's obviously much easier when there's a dialogue going on than just lecturing to myself. Next week, we are going to start a challenge. So please, if you have friends that you'd like to invite to the group, please invite them now. I am teetering on the idea of closing the group to, making the group private. So let me know, what I can do to be of assistance. Have a beautiful Thursday evening. I love you for your time and attention. Mwah. I will see you tomorrow. It's Friday.